Hello, thanks for coming back. So as I said, I have assembled some bankers boxes. These are magic for people who are hoarders. So I'm going to mark this one CBM cables. And, as I said before, all these things that have to do directly with Commodore computers are going in. And there is room to spare. Oh, I forgot a joystick. Alright, these must be tested, of course. Then another box. We'll mark this as, if I can get it to sit here, Misc non-CBM cables. These, of course, may end up getting, well, they might end up getting donated. They might. Because you know what? I may not have time to deal with them. But then, of course, I just have some old other computers around. So we'll see about that. And one more box. Well, this one will be CBM books, discs. And I guess because this is Commodore related, even though not probably very helpful, I'll put it in. And the disc box is not terribly full. I can put that in too. Now, I'm not going to put the printer in there at the moment. I think it would fit. But I want to test it some more and see what's what. It's funny, you know, because Star, the people who made this printer, I believe in order to make, like to put the Commodore interface on and make it compatible and such, they kind of had to dummy the printer down. Because if my memory serves me correctly, if you were to get a printer interface, which would have plugged into the same port, but also had a little power connector, typically that went on the cassette port, but also extended the cassette port so you could still use the cassette, and ran it over to the Centronics parallel interface. With various interfaces and other things, you could actually do more cool things with the printer than after they sort of dummied it down to be Commodore compatible. But then, of course, you didn't have the expense of the interface. But then you couldn't do some of the neat things that you might like to do with your printer. So, just one of those. 6 of one, half a dozen of another. So, as I am going to be using this base to test things, I am suspecting that this power strip will stay here. And who knows? Maybe I'll even use some of these. I'm not just sure. These I find are more useful sort of just in a spot where you just happen to have more than one, or or sorry, if you have two plugs and you just do something, I don't find I would not plug this in to the power bar and leave it in this towering configuration and use it. Oh, it doesn't even want to go in. I would not. Oh, it really doesn't want to go in. What's going on here? Oh, there it is. Anyway, this I would not do for obvious reasons. I'm not sure. Well, would this be handy? Yeah, these things have not been used. I remember. Always use gentle force. Really, I guess. Or no, I don't want that one. I suppose I could leave this like this. I'm not sure I will, but certainly I've had these for years. But they really, it's funny, they really don't seem to want to really go in nicely. But I suppose I might use those like that. Maybe. Possibly. We'll see. But they don't really, I don't know if you can see this, but they're really not right down snug as I would like them. They're just not. But at least I suppose, since I got them so many years ago, if I left them here, I could at least say that I had used 6 of them. I will not put that away, because then it'll get put away and I'll never use it again. So maybe I will leave that and we'll see how it goes. Maybe I will. If you just bear with me for a moment, maybe I'll just try something here. Excuse me. I'm just going to unplug the printer. And I'm going to plug this in. Funny, I'm sure in the future, schools and houses, especially schools, will have many more plugs, so many more people can charge things. So let's just try this. So the printer, whoa, yeah, these have not been used, they are snug. Okay, so the printer, that is plugged into the wall, the printer is now turned into this, and the printer comes on. So, okay, maybe I will use that like that. Alright, I do have to find some paper to see if the printer works. I'm sure the ribbon is probably pretty dry. Always good. The manual is in very good shape. When was this? Oh, the manual is not intended for sale. So this was copyright 1987, Star Micronics Company Limited. 33 years ago. Ooh. And it does have a description of things that it will do. It does. Quad size, double size, printed, all kinds of things. Setting up the printer. Well, interesting. Let me just find some paper. But I will leave that here. And I will push that over there. And these, we'll just stick them there. And you wonder how the table gets full. Anyway, I have many, many, many more things. Actually, under this table are more boxes. Some of which I gathered, or really haven't looked at since the World of Commodore in Toronto in 2019. Unfortunately, this year, with all that's going on, a real World of Commodore in person is not possible. But there will be an online one. I'm assuming if you go online to search for World of Commodore, or WOC, W-O-C 2020, you will find information about what is happening, when it's happening, how to get onto it, etc., etc., etc. I think I will try to attend, whatever that means, however that means. I don't know what that means. Last year, I actually took a bunch of Commodore 64s and VIC-20s that I knew were, well, somewhat working. My intention was to sit, and if people brought me things, I would try and see if we could figure out what was wrong. But I took along some extra things just in case nobody had anything. And I remember this one fellow, may have told the story before, he showed up with 3 VIC-20s, and he was sure that they were all dead. And 2 of them, if I remember rightly, had the 2-prong connector, and one of them had the newer, more like the Commodore 64 connector. And ends up that he had definitely a bad power supply for the 2-prong connector machines because they worked just fine. And the other one, in fact, there was a problem. Thankfully everything was in sockets, and we swapped out everything, and the very last thing that we could have changed ended up being the problem. So he did leave with 3 working VIC-20s, although he was then in need of a power supply for the 2-prong, and I believe also for the regular, not regular, the later Commodore 64 DIN plug power supplies. It was strange, you know, because there's all these companies out there making these power supplies, and of course nobody trusts the old ones, although, you know, I'm going to test the one that's in this box, the Commodore cables, and see what's what, and torture test it, etc. But you'd think that somebody would have arranged to have some of the newer power supplies at the World of Commodore show, but nobody did, because I knew a few people that showed up, and they were really hoping to get one of the new and improved modern power supplies, and there weren't any there to be had. So if there was a show going on this year, I might contact some of those people, some of those makers, and say, hey, you know, maybe we can work out a deal. I'll take them there, because people want to buy them. Not that the old power supplies are all bad, especially after a while they got better. But at the beginning, yeah, there was not good. Anyway, but certainly the technology has improved, and it would be better for anybody to use a modern power supply now. Not that I follow that advice myself, because I don't have any of them. But I will test these cables and things and power supplies. I shall. So, do Google World of Commodore 2020. I suspect it's still going to be in the first weekend of December, and something good will be happening. So get your nerd on, and maybe we'll see you online. For the moment, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I have these boxes to get started on, and many more boxes under here to look at. Also, out in the hall, which you can't see, of course, I have some pets to look at. I don't think any of them are going to be working, although some of them, some parts of them might be working. One of them may have been used as a cat's litter box for many years. Intentionally or unintentionally, I'm just not sure. So, we'll see. Stay tuned. Always something happening here. Until we meet again. Bye for now. And by the way, that smoke detector you hear, I think I finally have found it. I think it's in here, right behind me here. And every time I go looking for it, it won't make a noise. But as soon as I start recording, it makes a noise. I think it's in there. I'm going to see if I can find it and take out the dead, dying battery, which I'm assuming what happens is, for a while, it beeps a little bit. And then the battery sort of says, no, I got nothing left. But then somehow it wakes up just enough to pester me. And don't worry, I have a real smoke detector over by, there it is again, over by the kitchen with a fresh battery. So this is an extra, just to add aggravation. Anyway, I will find it. I will deal with it. I shall. I think. So, thanks for coming. Until we meet again, bye for now. Maybe next time I'll look. I think maybe in one of these boxes I have some paper that I could test this with. Perhaps. Anyway, once again, bye for now.
Hey, wait! No! No! Bye for now.